Yeah. Learn that lesson. I just want to make sure we're being picked up. All right. You ready, Liss?
I'm ready.
Let's do this. Welcome back to Talkin Texas Forever, a Friday Night Lights podcast. Ooh, I started that weird.
I liked it.
Did you?
Yeah.
Cool. I'm Michelle. We're live tonight.
Yeah, and I'm Liss.
We're discussing Season 5, Episode 7, Perfect Record, written by Etten Frankel, Derek. Whoa, guys.
Whoa.
I added in, okay, so this week, well, a couple of things. If you're watching us on YouTube, hello. And people who are joining us, hello. But Liz found this awesome iPad stand. So now we don't have to hold the technology.
Oh, God. I hope it works. It seems to be okay.
That being said, I added my notes real quick. There's two writers credited for this episode. I want to make sure I shout them out, but they got slammed together. So let's get that.
Let's get that right.
That's right. Okay. So this episode was written by Etten Frankel and Derek Santos Olsen, directed by Adam Davidson.
Oh.
Original air date December 15th, 2010.
Woohoo.
Woo. Okay, in this episode, things get heated when an anti-lion website appears highlighting the boys' juvenile records. Coach Taylor is concerned when Vince's dad gets more involved in his college recruitment prospects. Meanwhile, Julie is still hiding out at home, and Tammy goes up to school to collect her schoolwork.
Oh, baby. Lots to say about that.
Can we start with Julie?
Let's
That's
do
actually
it.
not, we're going to go a little bit rogue. That's not like the flow of my notes tonight.
That's okay.
But I wanted to start with Julie because I feel like you and I are on the same page. And a lot of our listeners who wrote in have issues with Julie. They're like, we don't feel bad for her anymore. Y'all, it hasn't been months.
It's been like days, if not maybe weeks.
I know. And
If
so
that-
she's home and she's not wanting to do anything. She has no plan. And Tammy and Eric are really getting sick of it. And so Tammy's like, I want you to bring Gracie to school. I need you to help out with this barbecue. I need you to clean the kitchen and do the laundry.
Yeah. It's one thing.
Like punishment.
It
That's
was
what you
like
said.
punishment.
Yeah.
I'm like, okay, so she's being punished for being home
Yeah.
when she literally could not get herself to go to school. They saw how traumatized she is. And so she's home because she's afraid to go back and she feels like she can't go back. All the things I'm sure, I don't know if she's voiced them fully to her parents, but like I feel like as a parent, maybe you should be like in tune to how your kid is reacting. Obviously, if she's not going back, it's for a reason. And it's not like this like small thing. So she's home. Maybe she's not doing anything.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, you can give her chores, but like don't like put her down doing it. Like, oh, well, this is your punishment is chores.
Yeah.
It's like you can help out around the house since you're home.
Right.
And also, what's your plan?
Yeah. Again,
I didn't like the way they handled it.
I didn't either. And I don't think the first time around I really paid too much attention to it. And I think obviously because we're watching it, we're critiquing it.
Mm-hmm.
But then people who are writing in and being like, she needs to get over it. I understand that, like, own up to what you did. I mean, I feel like this is something we need to really process and take time. Not that you need your daughter being lazy around the house, but maybe the language can be a little bit different.
Yes, agreed. And a way to prepare her to go back to school.
Yeah. Right.
Like there's no middle. It's either you're being punished or like you need to figure out what you're doing. And like there's no help in it. Like they're not helping her figure it out. And in this episode, Tammy does go and get her books, but okay, so she wants her to study and keep up so that she doesn't fail this semester.
Yeah.
But so you're bringing it home because you know your child cannot go back to school.
Right, but we're not like having that conversation. Like you didn't even tell Julie you were going to get her books,
which is bizarre
for the independent study. And so when Tammy goes, and of course we knew she was going to run into Derek. Like as soon as she said, "I'm going to Burleson," we knew.
And she was like stunned because I guess she didn't expect to see him.
Yeah. Yeah. And Lisa says, I admire Tammy for not punching Derek in the face, but once he asked how Julie was doing, I don't think I could have held back. Mm-hmm. He doesn't have the right to ask about her, especially not to her mother.
Absolutely.
I would 100% agree.
He should have played it off where he didn't even think Julie said anything to them. He should have just been like, oh, okay, here you go.
Yeah, but I don't, that would be, I don't know, that would take like an immense amount of acting. Don't you
Yeah.
think?
Yeah.
Yeah. Especially as soon as he said like, oh, I'm the TA.
Yeah.
And
she's
Tammy's
like,
look was like,
she's like, I know all about you.
yeah.
And I don't know, I thought maybe Tammy would have had a moment there where she like, I don't know, maybe just saw Julie's side a little bit more. Not that like, oh, this is a handsome guy. Of course, I understand why this happened.
Yeah.
But just like, maybe just seeing how he interacts with people, like just like understanding the gravity of the situation. I don't know. It was a whole.
How would you have handled it if you were Tammy?
Oops, I dropped my phone.
I think she handled it with grace because saying nothing was saying
Saying
so
so
much.
much.
Her eyes, not even making eye contact. Like, you can't look
Yeah,
at this
I think
man.
I probably would have done the same thing. Like, I wouldn't
Yeah.
have known what to say in that moment, that I would have just been speechless.
Right.
And just afterwards in the car, probably like would have cried or something. Like,
know.
just got out of there as quickly as possible and not have to deal with it. And like, she understood that he understood what was happening. And so to make a scene, I guess it wouldn't have helped anything.
Yeah.
But I just keep going back to the fact does anyone know it happened? Because to me, it was clear that everyone was going to know it was what had happened. But now it's as though nobody knows what happened.
I know, because before Tammy walks in and has a conversation with him, he's helping another student. And it's like very lighthearted.
Right. It's not like he's like in probation, in trouble, none of that.
It's weird.
It's weird. And do we continue with any of this?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Because I
Yeah.
feel like I obviously need more answers.
Yeah, he's not on the island. This is not over. I mean, Tammy comes home and Julie's on the couch and Julie's like, I cleaned the kitchen, and she drops her books in front of her. And Julie's like, where did you get these?
Did you see him?
Did you
What did he
see?
say?
Right. And Tammy just says, you need to study.
You need to study. I'm just like, okay, you're getting her books to take them home so she can study at home, but you're punishing her for being home.
Let me ask you something. When Derek asked Tammy, how is she? I felt that like really rubbed me the wrong way. That like really pissed me off. When Julie asked, like, what did he say? Did you talk to Derek? I think. I took that as she's not really wondering how he's doing. Just like, oh my God, I'm scared
What
for
did
my
he
life.
say?
My mom spoke to Derek.
Yeah, like,
do you know what I'm saying?
What did he say to you?
Yeah.
Did you say anything back? Was anything exchanged? Does anyone know what happened? Like,
Yeah.
feel out the situation. And Tammy's
Yeah.
just like, you need to study, which kind of didn't really give her any peace of mind.
No.
You know, this whole thing rubs me the wrong way. And while I'm not keen on this storyline, I feel like even the more we develop it, the more it makes me frustrated.
Yeah.
And we could have just not done this entire thing.
Kate wants to know, what do you think is next for Julie?
What I would hope to see is, I mean, was she that happy there?
At Burleson?
Right.
Did she even give it a chance?
She didn't even give
Does
it. That's
she
what I was
know?
going to say. It was like not even that much time
Right.
for her to feel it out and be like, yeah, this is totally the right move for me. I don't know, but I guess sometimes when you know, right? Like sometimes kids go and like within a week they're like, I'm home because that wasn't for me. For her, it seemed like it was like a month, if that.
I don't.
If that.
No,
like,
I don't.
It doesn't seem
think
that
so. I think
way,
we're
right?
talking like weeks.
Yeah, and so
Yeah.
the only person she got to know was someone who she shouldn't have gotten to know.
Like that.
And now she can't go back there because she's so shaken up about the situation. And so what bothers me is that what I hope for the situation is that he's going to get in trouble for this. He's going to be fired. She can go back to school. If she decides to go back to school, I don't know if Burleson
College, yeah.
is the right move for her. I don't know if she's going to think college in general is the right move for her.
Right.
She's a very smart girl. Doesn't mean necessarily that you have to continue education unless you want to. And it didn't seem like she even wanted to do that when she was graduating because she doesn't know.
Yeah,
I feel like I talk about the same point every single week.
Well, because the storyline's still continuing.
It is. It's continuing. So I feel like she's going to have a big decision and her parents are just going to have to accept it.
Yeah.
And there's no right or wrong decision. She's still figuring it out. And because she probably latched on to this situation because she's in a foreign place, because she doesn't know anyone. It's her first semester away from house and doesn't really speak to her family. So like it all kind of bundled up and makes sense as to why she latched on to this situation.
Oh, for sure.
You know, an escapism and something to distract her. And now it's not going to be there. And she has to decide, like, is this really what I want?
Yeah.
So we'll see.
We will see.
I think it's probably not, but I could be very wrong.
Yeah. All right. So the Lions. It's rivalry week. Lions are going to take on the Panthers, but we're not going to let destruction happen like last time. And so Buddy and Co show up to guard the field.
That was cute.
It was very cute. Very cute.
Beers and guns and
all the things. Mike wants to know, if you had to spend a night protecting the field, what would you bring and who from the Buddy world would you want there with you?
Well, I mean, I guess Buddy would be a great choice.
I think Buddy is the only choice.
Yeah.
Maybe Tim.
Tim.
I think it's the Friday night like crew because nobody
else in the other shows would.
Although I feel like Blair would probably just like throw money at the situation.
She would be like, I'm going to pay people to get security on the field.
Right. Or she'd make Dan do it.
Yeah. You know who would be good? Let's throw in some Riverdale and the Serpents.
Ooh.
How you like that, Mike?
I was just going to say right for you, Mike.
The Serps will help out keep the field.
Is Riverdale back, by the way?
I thought it was like August 1st or something. So yeah, maybe it is back.
We're gonna watch
the finale.
We are gonna watch that finale.
Patreon special, y'all.
That's right.
Riverpod making its last appearance.
While Buddy and Co are on the field, they're obviously listening to Slam and Sammy, and they overhear on the radio about the Lions' backgrounds and how there's a website up called lionhater.com, and the whole team and who was involved in some not so great behavior is exposed.
Yeah. So I didn't realize this like wasn't public knowledge.
No.
They had purposely hid this.
Someone exposed this.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Who do we find out who it is?
I don't know if this comes back, to be honest.
Okay.
So I'm not sure. I mean, Coach goes and questions the Panthers, which wasn't it weird not to see Joe McCoy as head booster over there?
Yeah, it was great.
Yeah.
Except that Randy is a dick.
He's disgusting. He was like telling a story about how like a girl's dress was like stuck in her.
So he pulled it out and then she got pissed. So he pushed it back in. So assaulted her twice. So, okay.
So disgusting. But they say, I don't know who did it. We didn't put that information up there. And obviously the team is upset because they're worried about losing scholarships. And also now everybody's saying, oh, this team is made up of violent criminals.
Right. Which is like, okay, big whoop.
Yeah.
To me, I'm like, so they're violent. I said they're a team of misfits. So the misfit toys, and they're a team made up of random kids that don't have any other outlet to express their anger and frustration. So they decided that we're going to throw all these kids into football to give them a good path to lead them on. Is this news? I didn't think it was. To me, it made sense that this was... I guess
announcing over the radio, though.
I mean, definitely didn't need to push it that far.
And then, Mike brings up a good point that isn't this illegal and a serious breach of like police records?
Absolutely.
Should there be an investigation?
Absolutely. Yes. And Coach says like, how come the website hasn't been taken down yet?
Right.
It should definitely be taken down. They're minors.
I know.
Still.
Right.
I don't know how that works.
I really don't know.
Is it public record? It's not public record.
I don't know. I really don't know. And then you had like Vince and you had Tinker and then you have Hastings who looks like he's 12 years old. Rihanna said that in the chat, but also I was thinking the same thing.
Yeah, he's like his
young.
is the only black and white photo.
I know. He looks like a baby.
He looks like a little baby.
Yeah. Coach goes on a lunch date with Jason Street.
I really did not expect this and I was so happy. It was like a warm hug. It was just holding me for the entire episode.
And he's doing so well. He's married. He's a full-time agent. We are just so happy for our Jason. But he meets with Coach to approach him about opportunities and how colleges are interested in Coach. And Coach shoots it down. He's like, I'm happier than I've ever been. My wife is happy. We almost got one daughter out of the house, like not interested. And Jason's like, well, I had to try. So,
Yeah,
you know.
I loved
But like
every minute of it.
that's like the gist of it. But if you watched this episode, there's just so many beautiful morsels in this. Coach gives Jason a hat, a Lions hat, and he's like, streets wear blue.
I loved it so much. It was so special.
And when he says, oh, we got married, and Coach is like, how did you not tell me? Like, how am I supposed to send a gift if I don't know that you got married? All of it is just so good.
It's really good. And Jason does look like he's had a little bit of life.
I know. He's glowing.
He's really happy. Yeah, he's really, really happy. And it was special to see him on the field again. Even
Yes.
we know it was at the Panthers because he is like, Panther
True
at
and
heart.
true. Well, hey, listen, when he was
QB1.
when he was a Panther, it was great.
It was
It was great.
Eric Taylor's Panther team. And now it's not so much.
Right. Exactly. But we get it. You have to support the team that you came from.
Yeah.
After this meeting, though, and how it seems that Eric shot everything down, he does get a call from Florida. And this particular university is looking for a head coach. And they're interested in Eric. And Eric's like, yeah, no, I'm not interested. And the guy's like, no, I'm gonna keep calling you.
At first, when he realizes, when he thinks it's the assistant coach, he's like, I'm definitely not interested.
Mm-hmm.
And then they say it's a head coach position. And you can see
Like a pause, right?
Eric was like, oh,
Yeah.
you really want me. And they're going to keep trying.
Yeah.
Does people want to know, what do I think about that?
Honestly.
Nobody asked that? Shooketh.
We have two comments
Okay.
about the Jason Street of it all.
Okay, let's do that.
Lisa says, oh, I cannot mention, because she sends all of her thoughts, which I always appreciate every week, the return of Jason Street, but I felt it was unnecessary. Oh, wait, but I didn't feel it was necessary.
Mm-hmm.
And the whole Florida calling to try to get Coach seemed a bit wasted. He did that once. It didn't go well. Why would he leave again?
Yeah.
I don't know why the jail website was needed either. And then Rihanna says, Jason Street, love it, but give me Tim Riggins, please and thank you.
Yes, agreed. But I felt very satisfied seeing Jason, to be honest. We had the glimpse of Lila, and we still have Tim, and we had Julie, and we had a send off for Landry or whatever is happening with that. I know you said Tyra's not on the island. Like, I'm happy to see the originals still play with our new kids.
I know.
So I was happy to see Jason regardless. I know it was a weird thing. We could have just had them meet up and Jason not get involved with like getting Coach another job.
But then, I don't know. I think this is good because it's like, oh, he went to be an agent. It makes sense. And then he would be coming back to Coach and like giving out information to Coach.
Yeah. And like,
you know what I'm saying?
I would love to see him, get Coach's players, like,
oh, I see.
You know what I mean?
Recruit
like
that way.
Recruit his players, or like have them sign on for Jason Street to be their agent.
Yeah.
But it's like, no, he wants to be like Coach's agent.
Well,
essentially,
it's
right?
just that colleges know that he's, close with Coach and has a rapport with him. So like,
right. And like Lisa said, we literally did this with TMU.
I mean, here's the thing, like, especially with a show like this, like, there's football every year. He's a coach. He's gonna take
and
opportunities.
it wasn't a full-time coach. He was an assistant coach, right?
I believe, yeah.
So maybe to him it would be worth it to be
head coach.
At
what I have it written,
Sheen or something. But that means that he's not. I know for sure he's definitely not going to do that entire not live with my family type thing.
No, I think
so. They would all have to move to Florida, and I don't know about that.
Mm-hmm. Well, do you want to share your thoughts on what you think will happen with that? Hey, listen, I don't remember which episode it was, but it was this season where you did predict that Coach would leave for another job.
Yeah, I think it was even like when Matt was on. It was like very recently that I said this. I still believe that there's a bigger picture for Coach than what he's doing now, even though it would kill me to see him leave this team because we just built them up so nicely.
Well, there's a nice
and like
group of assistant coaches
absolutely,
now.
Absolutely. I would love to see, now you're like making me spin the wheel. Like, would he promote, like, would Billy and Stan and
Crowley.
Crowley, they would all step in and be the Lions coach and adapt, you know, the morale that coach has led them and continue to mold the men that need the most help.
Right.
This east side of the town obviously needs, you know, more help than the west side in ways. So I'd love to see that and coach flourish. It's hard to believe that he would pick up his life and go to Florida, though, you know? And like, what's Gracie Belle, she's indifferent because she's still a baby.
She's a child, yeah.
A child that it won't matter. And Julie, essentially, if she's in another school or if she's doing whatever, she can travel. It's not like it's that big of a deal.
She's not in high school or anything.
Right. Like, she's not being taken out of a school.
Right.
So it could very well happen, and I assume it will happen.
Yeah.
Is that the school, though, or will coach get other opportunities? Kind of like Vince. Like, okay, one school wants you. That means maybe another school would want him too.
Yeah.
And maybe there would be a better situation for him.
Right.
That he wants to. But if this guy's going to keep calling, it leads me to believe it's going to be this guy.
Okay. All right, so that's a light little predict.
Just a little.
Okay. Luke is working out with Billy. And Billy tells him, you got to play with fight and you got to work on taking people down. Like, Tim loved to hit people. You don't come off like you want to hit people.
Luke is Luke.
Lucas?
No, Luke is Luke. Lucas is Luke.
But Luke is like, no, I want to take him. Tommy Larkins, like, I can take him. Also, this is a very comical scene to watch. Billy, as a coach, makes him this disgusting drink. I was trying to like clock the ingredients. We have spinach for sure.
It looked like there was yogurt,
Tabasco sauce I saw out there. Also, it didn't blend all the way.
He didn't even try and blend it. He blended it for like 5 seconds and then gave it off to Luke, and Luke was gagging and then spitting out basil leaves or spinach leaves.
And Billy was like, I just want to let you know, like, this drink is what made Tim and got him into college. So
right.
I'm just letting you know. It's because of this drink. It's funny, though. Ant makes a smoothie every morning, and he likes his smoothies chunky, and he makes it with the spinach, and he'll be like,
nope.
And it will, like, get stuck in his beard.
I have gagged from having a smoothie. So it's funny. I make a smoothie pretty much every morning as well. And because of all the stuff I put in it, and if I put frozen fruit, it gets very, very thick, which I love.
Yeah.
But by the time I'm going to drink it at work and I take it out of the refrigerator, it's cold, but it's so thick that you can't even drink it through a straw. And I've done it in the past, and it makes me gag when it like goes down slow. So now I have to put some ice and some water in it, like mix it up before I drink it. So I can't even imagine having like a chunky
like Luke pulls out the spinach,
a whole leaf,
a
whole leaf. Gross. And I love spinach in my smoothies because you cannot taste it, and it's great added vitamins, but I don't want to chew it.
No, gross. Also, Billy is giving Luke advice on Becky.
Yeah, no.
And he
should never have happened.
Again, like, I love Billy. He's such a vibe. And you know he comes from a good place. It's all heart. But, like, what he said. First off, he's like, you know, Mindy's a dumbass because she's a woman and women don't know about men. And then Billy goes and tells Luke how he got Mindy.
Yeah, by ignoring her.
By ignoring her at the landing strip. And all Luke is focusing on is Mrs. Riggins works at the landing strip.
So fun. I think it's so sweet and innocent that he didn't know she worked at the landing strip. I feel like everyone knew that she worked there.
Yeah, good point. Good point. But that's all he's fixated on. Oh, does she still work there weekends, part-time? But anyway, you know, Billy tells him like the cliche, if you want a girl to like you, you got to ignore her. That's how he got Mindy. So he does that, and he continues to ignore Becky throughout the entire episode until the very end, when she calls him out on it and is like, why are you acting weird? And then he's like, wait, what?
I'm really happy that she said that, because she could have just continued to go on and let it continue. Yeah. And been like, wow, he's really turning into a jerk. Like, and the fact that it's very Becky of her to be like, what's up? Yeah. You know, what's happening? And he's like, oh my God, you actually like it when I'm nice to you? Yeah. She's like, yeah.
You call me by my name? Like, I like that. And they kiss.
Love it.
And then Luke's like, oh my God, it totally worked.
Yeah, which is hysterical.
Yes, it did. But, you know, he was honest about it.
Right. Like it was a very Luke thing.
It was a very Luke.
It was very Luke.
It was very Luke. we have to talk about Jess. So she's interested in Baylor College is having a camp, and she's like, she approaches coach about this for a recommendation letter. And he's like, yeah, just write it. Just write it. I'll sign it. And so she feels really weird about this. She asks Vince to do it. Then she brings it up to coach again, and it almost seems like coach forgot. And then coach is like, oh, I already gave a call.
He's like, I called. I don't do that, like writing down business.
Yeah. No. So it seems like she's good and she's in. We'll see. Also, though, coach is very much focused in on Vince, which we'll get to in a second, and questions just about it. Like, do you know anything about this TMU stuff? Yeah. But Vic wants to know, have you ever asked for a recommendation letter, and what was it for?
Not in high school. I think we talked about this before, right? We were going to community college, so we didn't have to get any letters of recommendation.
Right.
But going into, I think I was taking like grad school classes.
Yeah.
I needed to get that.
I mean, we needed one for our fellowship, and which I submitted. I got one for our audio podcast fellowship that we just did.
We needed that? I don't remember this.
So I don't know. I remember applying. Liss and I did a podcast fellowship last year. And when I applied, because I applied first, you had to upload like a resume and stuff you edited and produced and all that. And then it said a recommendation letter. And so I was like, or you had to put in contact information if they can contact someone.
Yeah.
That's what it was.
Yeah, okay.
And so I was so nervous to do this, and I'm like, who am I going to ask? And so I reached out to my old college professor, who I am still very close with. And so I remember giving him a call, and I'm like, hey. He's like, Ribbon State, what are you doing? What's up? How are you? And so we caught up, and I was like, listen, like, I'm applying for this program, and I wanted to know if you would be a recommendation. He's like, what are you talking about? Of course I'll do it. And he like screamed. He's like, I just want you to be successful.
Aww.
I believe in you. Of course, Michelle. And I cried. It like made me very emotional, but I don't know why it's always so hard to ask for things.
It is hard. I always felt like in my life, though, I never really had like relationships with people who could get me somewhere.
Sure.
You know?
Sure.
So I think my contact was my tutor, who's also my friend now.
Yeah.
And we became friends because she was my tutor.
Right. Yeah.
And that she's been my go-to for all that kind of stuff.
Mm-hmm.
So.
And he's kind of been my go-to because I know he'll talk me up.
Right. Exactly. She's like the best bullshitter ever. So.
And he's, he works in the industry, so he's a good go-to. But anyway, okay. So Vince, well, first off, Ornette has fully moved back in to living with Regina and Vince. Everyone seems happy about this. Jess is very cautious. She's clocking it.
As she should be.
She's like, he's fully moved back in. Yep. Are we concerned about this? Also, Ornette shows up with a bunch of swag from TMU. Shirts, sneakers, and Vince is like, at first he's like, this is cool and all, but coach wouldn't appreciate this, so I can't accept it.
Right. And so TMU sent that stuff because obviously Ornette has been in talks with them.
Yeah.
Doesn't Vince think that's suspicious?
It's like he hasn't caught on yet. And
yeah,
so
I guess Jess did though. She's
like, oh, who are you talking to at TMU? Mm-hmm. And then obviously Vince is all upset about the lying hater stuff and the loss of scholarships. And so I have to give this, we do like this sweet moment of him and his dad outside reminiscing about when he was a kid and how like his dad will never let him fall. Right. It's all very sweet.
Very sweet. Yep.
And he also reassures him like, yo, my phone's going off the hook. Like you have all these area codes.
Right. And
calling.
Is it malicious? I don't think so.
Ornette?
Yeah, because he's trying to make amends with his kid.
Right.
And give his kid opportunities he never could get, which thanks to coach, first of all.
Yeah.
And now he feels like it's his responsibility to him being the man of the house, to being his father that takes control over the situation. Mm-hmm. So while I don't blame him in that regard, I'm happy to see that he's pushing this. It doesn't feel malicious, but the way he speaks to coach about it, it's almost like,
Well, here's
Well, respect the coach too.
respect the coach and also the way he's going about it. So
Right, shady.
Arnett's having these conversations, and I don't know if you caught this, and he mentions TMU, and Vince is like, Dad, I didn't get a former
A form
offer.
a formal.
Right, I didn't get a former.
And I was going off that, like, yes, that's the word.
A formal offer
Right,
from
so
TMU.
like you can't say shit, Dad.
And Ornett's like, they don't know
They
that.
don't know that.
So he's like lying.
They don't know that. And while it might be a good strategy where you're from, not here.
It's not great.
Because they're going to find out regardless.
Right.
All those schools talk.
Sure. And like, what if they approach coach about it?
Right. And coach is going to be like, I don't know nothing.
Yeah.
I know nothing.
Throughout all of this, Coach and Tammy decide to have a morale boosting barbecue with 300 people.
Yeah.
Was this exaggerated? They kept saying 300 people are going to be there. No way there was 300 people.
No, there was definitely not 300 people there. Maybe came and went 300 people, like not all
Like
at once.
flow. Yeah.
But no, their house is way too small for 300 people.
There's just no way. But Coach approaches Ornette about this and about how he's getting calls from scouts wanting to come to the big game. And do you know anything about this? I thought we were going to go through me first if anything came through. And Ornette's like, that's not how I remember that conversation.
Yeah. And coach is like, so tell me how you remember it then.
Yeah. And again, like you said, it's not malicious. He's looking out for his son and his son needs opportunities. It's just like Ornette is being such a dick.
Yeah.
Such a dick.
Mm-hmm. It's because he doesn't respect coach and he tells coach, like, you can manipulate all these other stupid parents, but not me.
Yeah.
Like, he didn't need to go as far as like, he could just be like, hey, you know what? Vince is my kid and I'm going to do it my way. And maybe coach would respect that a little bit more. Mm-hmm. But he like went in and kind of just like belittled him and it was very uncalled for. And coach obviously did not, hear that well. He didn't respond well.
No.
As you would.
Right. Yeah.
And honestly, I feel like coach, I was proud in that moment that he was just like, if I was him, I'd be like, okay, so if you know best, you do it for your kid and watch it all blow up in your face. And I'm just going to stay silent. And he's going to come cry back to me. And he's going to wish that, your dad never came back into your life. That's how I predict everything to go.
Yeah. And also we like during practice, which I don't know why we can't have closed practices anymore.
Right. We should eliminate parents being able to come.
But Ornette is just like talking Jason's ear off and being.
Jason's like, we got a problem here. You got a problem, coach.
Also, he really wants Vince to throw like a 65-yard ball, right? Like, I want you to do this. We're going to have scouts there. And Vince is like, yeah, but I listened to the coach. We'll see what coach wants me to do, right? And so we get to the game and they take on the Panthers and Luke takes out Tommy Larkins like real quick. So like we're playing with vengeance. We're playing with violence. We're playing nasty.
Yeah. Very
nasty. This is not how we do it. They're winning by like a landslide. I think it was like 31 to something. Yeah. I mean, like the Panthers had no chance, right?
Yeah.
And
it must feel so good.
It must feel so good. But we get to the final like seconds down, right? And coach is like, just take a knee. Just take a knee.
You're going to win anyway.
Run the clock. It's fine. And Vince decides to throw this 65-yard throw with seconds to go.
Yep. And the scouts were there because Ornette decided to get them some tickets to the game. And coach is like, what about this?
But also, like, you're just showing off. You're being cocky. And, like, what a waste.
Yeah.
What a waste of, like, what are you doing? And so, obviously, coach
it would have been
Vince
amazing to see during another game where it meant more. And this was just, like, it was just stupid.
You're just being a dick.
Yeah.
Yeah. And so, while the team is happy that they won and the Lions are happy that they won, like, coach is not happy. And Crowley is so upset.
So pissed.
Because he's like, this is not how we play.
Yeah, he's like, this is not my football.
No.
This is not my game that I
signed up for. And you brought up a good point. He left the Panthers for that shit. Mm-hmm. Because of that shit. And came to the Lions because we're supposed to play better.
Right. He followed Eric because Eric was of moral ground.
Right.
And at that point, the Panthers were not, especially with the McCoys in there.
Right.
Stirring up trouble.
Yeah.
And Crowley's like, hey, I'm too good for this.
This is not good.
Right. Like our team, they need to be better. And I said, like, yeah, they did this before and it got in their heads because coach allowed it. That one time he allowed it to be like them to play a little dirty. And now it kind of backfired because the boys like, it was like revenge then and it's revenge now. Like anytime they have this revenge, which is like, it could be any team.
Yeah.
That beats you.
And also Billy.
And Billy's like stirring it up.
He is stirring it up. Like he wants the violence there.
Yeah.
And we even see Crowley like shoot him down. Be like, no, stop.
Yeah.
Stop. Vic wants to know, do you think the game will affect Vince and Eric's relationship?
Yeah.
Yeah.
At the end of the episode when he sees his dad and the scouts and Vince and leaves and like they very well see each other. Like they know that they were there. It didn't end on good terms. So into next week, I can imagine it continuing and Ornette's stirring up some more shit for Vince. And Vince, you know, he's still a kid and a kid that very much needs his father's approval because he wasn't there. And the father who needs his kids' approval. So he's going to do anything in his power to make his dreams come true.
But yes, but also it's like it's so misguided.
Oh,
you don't know what you're doing. You're
right. Like you're not an expert in this.
No. You're caught up in the lore of it.
Right. What he should do is, I know obviously he feels as though coach is stepping on his turf, but if he were to just collaborate with coach, then Vince can be like, wow, dad, thanks for like also supporting me and helping me get to my goal. Because coach knows exactly what I need to do. Just like seeking an expert because you don't know. And him going in thinking he knows is just ruining this whole thing for his kid.
I know.
It's so selfish.
Yeah, I don't know if he sees it that way, you know?
He doesn't. And he might not ever.
Yeah.
But Vince will see it.
Yeah.
And who's going to suffer is Vince.
Yeah.
Poor kid.
Mike sent some trivia.
Oh, cool.
Which
we never
have trivia.
Never get trivia.
Also,
it's not a very trivia heavy show, you know?
No. How's the chat going?
Let's see what the peeps are saying. You know, Tim. Would love to see Tim.
Oh, yeah. Missed him
Tim and
so
Jason. Vic says, as a general rule, crimes committed by juveniles are hidden from the view of the public.
Oh.
So, unless they are particularly heinous. So, yeah, this is sealed and it shouldn't have come out.
Okay.
Mike likes banana chunks in his smoothie. He doesn't mind them. Yeah.
I don't think you should chew a smoothie.
I agree. I don't think it's a smoothie then. It's not smooth. You get it? Yeah. Just writing about their letters of recommendation. The professor didn't really know the student because the class was so big, so they would just write their own and then they would sign it. I mean, that's what makes the most sense to me. Is like you write.
I would never do that.
I wouldn't. First of all, I would have no idea what to say.
Yeah.
But I guess if it's easier for the teacher and just like scribble their signature on it.
It's wild. Okay, so Mike sent over some trivia. He says there was a deleted scene of Julie going grocery shopping and throwing hot dogs in the buggy, the cart, on top of the buns, and BJ is there, eating cereal from a bag, telling her that she should put the hot dogs at the bottom so it doesn't squish the buns. Then they end up going outside to smoke a joint and eat Twizzlers, and she tells him that she slept with Derek. BJ asks if he was good looking or an old wrinkled professor, and Julie laughs. It's a flirty scene. I think they want Bewley to be a thing. She said that Derek is 28, and BJ said that she better have gotten an A, but she only got a C minus. And he said that he would have given her an A, and she said, "Would you have?" And they're laughing.
Okay, I needed that scene. I would have loved to have seen that.
And then another deleted scene was a press conference before the game between Coach and Mac, and the reporters keep bringing up criminal records, and if the Panthers are scored to go up against a team like that.
Yeah, I feel like why, like what Lisa said earlier, like we didn't really need the records coming out because it was just the beginning of the episode. We didn't really continue it into the rest of the episode, even though I'm sure that was what fueled their fire in addition to it also being the Panthers.
Yeah.
But the first scene, it's funny that she said he was high because I feel like in one scene, BJ looked like he was high. Like his eyes were all red and puffy. And I was like, oh, this kid's a pothead, obviously.
Right.
But I think that scene would have been nice for the audience to hear the age of how old.
So he's about 10 years older.
He's about 10 years older. Not that can't happen in real life.
Yeah.
Not shooting that down. It was just, he was her TA. We watched the whole situation happen.
Yeah.
And to know that he's 28 and married.
Yeah.
And
yeah. But thank you, Mike, for sending that. These are on the DVDs.
Yes, I love that because DVDs are important.
Yes, they are.
Please watch on DVD.
Yes. Okay, favorite quote. What do you have?
I had Jason Street. Streets look better in blue.
I love it. I have nobody's going to mess with this field, coach. Buddy. Coach's Corner. What do you have?
What did it get deleted? I think I had Tammy going to school.
Yeah, that was mine.
Yeah, for Julie.
Mm-hmm. Even if I was like annoyed by the parenting in this episode, I do appreciate Tammy taking the initiative. Like she cares.
Yeah.
And I commend the way that she presented herself with Derek.
Same.
Yeah. Yeah.
I don't know how I would react.
Yeah. I mean, both are in shock, right? To see one another. Also, like, unrelated to that, but just a cute Coach and Mrs. Coach moment was them in bed.
Oh my God. I love this
after
so
the
much.
Barbecue, and he's thanking her.
This was so cute and sweet.
It's
and
so sweet.
Just ovary melting on my part. I was like, Coach.
I know. They're
season 5 Coach. Come on.
I love them. You
want to fool around? He's like, totally. I just fed 300 people.
And I'm exhausted.
And I couldn't wait to get into bed. But yeah, let's fool around. Just like a night. I love it so much. Oh my God. I don't know who my MVP is. I still don't have an MVP.
I know.
It's so hard to pick.
Yeah. The ones that were sent over is what I was going between as well.
Who did they send?
Billy and Tammy.
Billy and Tammy. I almost picked Tammy. I really did like Coach a lot in this episode too.
I did too, yeah.
Crowley.
I know.
Crowley would be a great MVP.
Crowley needs something because I just felt for him.
Yeah.
He made me sad.
Yeah, he made me sad too.
He made me really
He's
sad.
like, nah, I don't operate this way.
No, I'm not celebrating.
Yeah.
Shittiest. Did you pick Ornette?
Yeah. It's obvious, right?
Yeah, I mean, it is obvious, but we can understand him. Also, like, Derek kind of fucking pissed me off with how is she?
Mm-hmm.
I don't like it.
Mm-hmm.
I don't like it. All right, let's go into our booster of the week. Liz, who's our lion booster?
Our booster is Chloe.
Chloe. Sweet Chloe.
Chloe. She's like, hey guys.
I know.
I'm actually back in the chat. I've missed you.
Back.
And we've missed Chloe. What a lovely light in our Discord chat from the UK. Chloe's been with us for a very long time. Remember all the way back in the day when she blogged about us? And that was so sweet.
I know. Wow.
Throwing it back. Anyway, we just really appreciate you, Chloe, and we're happy when we get to hear from you. And if we don't get to hear from you, it's okay too.
That's right.
You do you.
I love our OG peeps that everybody goes and lives their life, and that's great, right? But then when they just like send a little like, hey,
I'm still here,
or just like checking in, how is everyone? It's such a sweet community. And even what Will said last week, like, we don't have to talk to each other. I could disappear, you could disappear, but he's like, I show up, I make efforts, you guys show up, you answer.
Yeah.
It says a lot.
It does.
It says
We have
a
the
lot.
best patron fan.
And then we have some of our OC babes are hanging out in Newport.
I know. Fucking enjoy.
On August 5th for OC Day. That to me is like
everything.
That is everything.
Yeah. Really, really special.
You know I'm going to be hounding for pictures.
Absolutely.
Like,
you guys better
send your mother Betty's.
Please. In all the booths.
I love it. I know.
And getting your
milkshake, I hope.
Yeah. No, but what's the ice cream cone?
Balboa bar?
Balboa bar.
Yeah, you have
I'd
to.
love to have one.
Yeah. All right. So an emoji for this week. This was another light bulb moment. Liz, both and I reach at the same time.
It's the leaves.
Right.
For the spinach. It looks like a basil or spinach leaf. It also looks like leaves from the tree, but it's fine. Whichever.
Right. And so there are 2 leaf emojis, right? There's like
there's like an actual
romaine.
There's a romaine head, and then there's like spinach leaves, but then there's also leaves from a tree. So don't pick the leaves from a tree.
No.
But you can pick romaine because there might have been romaine in the smoothie, and definitely lettuce. Definitely leaves of spinach.
Yeah. So you could stick that emoji in an Apple Podcast review. Be our line of the week. Keep saying it.
Come on.
Haven't gotten one. Hey guys, come on. This show.
Come on. Don't you want to hear one?
Soon. Please, please. We are begging you. Please, please, please. It makes us so happy.
Yeah.
Yeah. Rate us 5 stars as well. And keep sending over on Instagram. We really appreciate that. And in the email too. We just love
we love it.
We love it. All right, Liz. I'm going to give you the title for next week. We will have a patron joining us as well.
Yeah, TBD.
TBD on who that will be. But, okay, so this is season 5, episode 8. The title is Fracture.
That's not good.
Get in your car right now, Coach Taylor.
Get in your car right now?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it could be to Julie, but it could also be get in your car right now. Like, are you maybe it's to Tammy. Like, we're getting her shit from school. We need both cars.
Ooh. Okay.
Just pulling that out of the asshole. I'm just being honest.
Ooh, out of the sphincter.
Get in the car.
Get in the car right now. Get in your car right now.
Get in your car. That's what's throwing me. Get in your car right now.
Get in your car right now.
Oh, shit. This is so hard.
Coach Taylor.
Obviously.
Obviously.
Is it Billy? Is it
Billy?
I'll never just say Billy. It's Billy.
It's always Billy.
Billy. I missed him.
I know.
I missed him. I'm like fizzling out because I miss him so much.
I just want to see his face.
Yeah.
And not in a picture with him in his freaking Panthers.
No.
jersey.
I mean, do you remember when he comes back? I know. Is it before the finale? It's okay if it's not or it.
It's not. I'll tell you this. It's not next week.
Okay.
Do you want me to tell you when he comes back? Like, if it's going to be the following episode, do you want me?
No, it's okay.
Because seeing your face today when you saw Jason made me
I'm
so happy.
I wouldn't have told you that either. I would have been very excited to see your face when Jason Street made his appearance. I was real. What a
this was me. This was me.
What a treat! I was so happy.
And she was like typing her notes, and I was like,
and then I like put my phone down. I was like, I'm done. I'm done in the chat. I'm done mentally, physically, emotionally.
I was like,
I'm done.
Please look up right now.
Yeah, I was really happy to see Jason.
Yeah.
So I'm just gonna go with my original thought because I really don't know what to say about that.
Okay. All right.
Or Nat's gonna fuck shit up though. Is it Vince? Like, is he telling Vince like, you get in your car now because you need to get out?
Well, okay. Regardless, what do you think is going to happen with Coach and Vince and Ornette next week? Where do you think this is going?
I think Coach. It could go where Coach is still wanting to push Vince in the right direction. Like, listen to me. I know your dad's been feeding you some shit. Mm-hmm. Or he could totally stay out of it and wait for Vince to come to him. Maybe Vince will say like, hey, look, I know you're mad at my dad, but I hope that doesn't like affect our relationship here. And maybe then Coach will talk to him about stuff in that
Okay.
part of the episode, but yeah, I think things will be awkward. Definitely awkward. And honestly, Ornette's gonna like he's gonna be annoying and keep coming to practices and like trying to like think he's the big man on campus and wants to
I mean, even when
push the
he
buttons.
was like, oh, when coach was like, hey, can I have my quarterback back? Can I have my
he's like,
quarterback?
oh, you're quarterback. Yeah, not respectful. That's really disrespectful.
Not
Your kid is on a team.
respectful.
This is the
Yeah.
coach. You are lucky enough to be standing on the sidelines and watching your kid play, but you did not get him here. He got here because coach said, hey, you're fucked up. And the last chance you have in life is to play football for my team, and let's do it. And you're really good, and now you have a team because of me. And coach won't say those things. It will have to be Vince to tell his dad, like, hey, this is my coach. Coach knows best. Coach did everything for me. You fucked up. You were in jail.
Yeah. What do you think is going to happen with Julie next week? Is she going back?
I don't think so.
You don't think she's going back?
I don't think so.
Okay.
I know you said obviously he's on the island.
Yeah, he's not on the island.
God, I don't want to see like this confrontation between them. But if he's not on the island, and then who's confronting? Unless that's coach saying to Julie, get in your car now. We're going up to school, and you know, I'm giving this guy Derek a piece of my mind, or we're getting like. I just don't think she can stay another semester there. I think she's either going to go somewhere else to school, or she's not going to go to school at all. I don't think it's going to be at Burleson. What a name.
Okay. We shall see what happens. There is no Will's football poetry corner
And
this
that's
week.
okay.
And that's okay because Will is traveling back to the States. When we're recording this, he's leaving Japan. So we hope all of that goes well.
We can still snap.
Yes, we can. We snap for Will because we're so thankful for you,
We're happy
Will.
and proud and so thankful.
So thankful. Well,
That's
all
all she wrote.
Thank you so
Love
much.
it.
Thank you so much for listening. I can't believe next week we're on the 8th episode.
Oh my God! Wow.
Like we are gonna be done with this
flying
in so soon.
Yeah, our final episode premieres September 21st.
I don't know.
Something like that.
Sure, you can throw out a number. I just know it's next month.
But like it's next month.
It's just next month.
Because we're in freaking August.
I know.
Ooh.
It's so wild. But thank you everyone for listening and downloading and subscribing. We appreciate you. Hey, live chat.
What y'all saying, live chat?
Thank you, Betties, for
you
joining
guys.
us. We love you so much. Come back next week for episode 8. We'll be discussing fracture.
Yeah, that also is suspicious. Fracture,
baby.
Yeah, like Luke had the injury. We're not going to go back to
Who's
that.
getting an injury?
Someone else might get an injury. It
don't
could be
know.
Vince. Or not. We'll see. And it'll be all fucking Ornette's fault.
There you
somehow.
go. There you
Somehow.
go. We'll
Got
end on
it.
that. Bye.
Bye.
How's it going in there?
Each episode of this podcast will leave you wanting more with the leaves emoji. Very cute, Mike. Very cute, Mike.
Cute, Mike. Yeah. Very good.
Rihanna, what do you think? I think I do.
Probably talking about when Tim comes back, maybe?
You think you do? But that's because I saw the blurb for next week.
Oh, maybe my quote?
Oh, about
Yeah.
what coach is saying.
Yeah.
Okay.
That makes sense. Well, thank you everyone for joining. Have a great weekend, guys. We love you.
Apparently only millennials do this.
What?
Gen Zs do this.
My other half.
Oh, sorry.
Wait,
Gen Zs do just the fingers like this, and millennials do like this. I know. I saw that on TikTok like months ago, and I was like, they're like, how do you hold up your heart? And like they were like, this is how, and I did that, and they're like millennial. And I'm like, yeah, actually, well, I am millennial.
Seen.
But yeah, like that's so it's just not easy
so
to do
weird.
that. Anyway, we heart you guys.
We heart you.
Thank you. And whoever's our patron next week, we look forward to chatting.
Yay. Bye.
Bye bye.
Also, this is also a millennial thing, waving to the screen.
Bye, Barbie.
Bye, Barbie.
Barbie's so